So, we're going to dive into something really fascinating today, a powerful and often really misunderstood link between high intelligence and the choice to spend a lot of time alone. It's a connection that might just challenge how you think about solitude and maybe even brilliance itself.
I mean, really think about it for a second. That super bright friend you have, or that really insightful colleague at work, are they always chasing the spotlight, or do they seem perfectly happy in their own company? Yeah, that's not a coincidence, and it's definitely not because they're antisocial. Psychology, it turns out, tells a completely different story.
And this right here is the core of the whole misunderstanding. On the one hand, we have the stereotype, the loner who must be arrogant or sad or just doesn't like people. But the reality? It's something else entirely. It's often a sign of incredible focus, a deliberate choice, and a deep, deep sense of self-awareness.
Okay, let's just tackle this stereotype head on, shall we? We live in a world that basically screams at us to be connected 24/7. You've got endless notifications, packed social calendars. So when someone chooses to be quiet and alone, it's often seen as like a problem that needs to be fixed. But is it really?
You know the assumptions, right? If someone's quiet, oh, they must be so lonely. If they duck out of a party early, wow, they must really dislike us. And if they actually enjoy their own company, well, then they're probably just arrogant. But we're about to see why these knee-jerk reactions usually miss the mark by a mile.
So if it's not about being antisocial, then what is it about? Well, the first big reason is a huge one, the fundamental need for focus. It's not about escaping the world, it's about having the space to build a much richer one on the inside.
And it all kicks off with this one simple thing, an activity that is pretty much impossible to do in a crowd: deep thinking. This, right here, is the absolute cornerstone of why so many intelligent minds crave solitude.
The simple truth is, you just can't analyze a complex idea or solve a tricky problem if you're constantly being interrupted. Your mind needs to filter out all that noise to find the signal. It needs quiet to actually connect the dots.
And deep thinking isn't some passive thing where you're just zoning out. No way. It's an incredibly active process. It's about questioning everything, untangling really complex problems, and finding those hidden connections between ideas that nobody else sees. That's the real work, and it almost only happens in silence.
This totally gets to the heart of it. Solitude isn't an empty space to be filled. It's more like fertile ground. It's the workshop where those aha moments are born, not in a noisy meeting room, but in the quiet, focused space of your own mind. Okay, so solitude is crucial for thinking. We get that. But that brings up a really big question. What about other people? Well, this leads us straight to the second major reason, and it completely reframes the whole approach to social connection. It's all about quality over quantity.
Which brings us to reason number 2, and this is important. It's not about avoiding people. It's about avoiding superficiality. It's about valuing real, true quality over just the sheer number of people in their lives.
You know, for a mind that's constantly analyzing and trying to find meaning, small talk can be physically exhausting. It's like mental junk food, you know? It doesn't give them the stimulation they're looking for. It can be incredibly draining and just saps their energy for things that actually matter.
So the goal isn't to be isolated. The goal is to withdraw from those shallow interactions to make room for genuinely meaningful connections. They don't need a huge social circle. They just need a few deep relationships that they can really invest in.
And being alone offers another amazing advantage: perspective. By taking a step back from the crowd, they often become incredible observers. They're not just disengaged, they're actively analyzing, noticing patterns, and gaining these insights into how the world works that you can really only see from a distance.
So we have the need for focus and the preference for deep connection. The third and final piece of this whole puzzle looks inward. It's about building a strong inner world and protecting their most valuable resource, their mental energy.
And this is reason 3, the intentional cultivation of a rich inner world. This is like their home base, where self-awareness grows and their energy gets replenished.
Let's just be honest for a second. For a lot of people, silence can be kind of intimidating. When all the external noise stops, you're just left alone with your own thoughts, your worries, your hopes, and a lot of us will do just about anything to avoid that confrontation.
But this is where highly intelligent people often have a different approach. Instead of running from their inner world, they cultivate it. They actually build a strong relationship with their own mind. And when you do that, you stop needing constant validation from everyone else. You also realize your social energy isn't infinite, and you learn to protect it fiercely.
So we've looked at the core reasons, but what does it all add up to? Well, the key takeaway here isn't that solitude is good and socializing is bad. Not at all. The real power, the real genius, lies in finding the right balance between them.
You see, true intelligence, then, isn't about becoming a hermit. It's about having the self-awareness to know when you need a retreat to think and recharge, and when to jump back in and engage with those meaningful human connections that, let's face it, we all need.
If you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. This isn't about being antisocial. This is about making an intentional choice. It's a strategic decision to prioritize deep thought, meaningful connection, and your own mental energy.
So the next time you, or maybe someone you know, chooses a quiet evening over a loud party, just remember this. Don't automatically assume something's wrong. They might just be having one of the most important conversations possible, the one that's happening inside their own mind.